Hey, what's going on, everybody? Look who we got with us already. Hey, John. Hey, Mike. Hey, Machine Slot Car. Hey, Snuggy. So, I'm not really fixing anything. I'm more playing around with the Viper V3. All right, Snuggy, good, because you're confused. I have to clarify some things for you. Hey, Rick. Um, so, last Friday, HOPRA News, Viper V3 chassis, Viper level 4 traction magnets for the V3, Viper V3 level 10 traction magnets have been approved. Motor magnets remain under extensive review. The process for defining a new maximum Gauss limit continues. So, the motor magnets in the V3 have not yet been approved, but everything else has. Um, so I was talking about this on my Facebook group with the guys I race with. I made a post about it, and Dan from Viper actually replied and commented on my post and reminded everybody that you could still legally race the V3. You would just have to use V1 motor magnets. They're still level 4 motor magnets. They just have a different Gauss strength and they're designed a little bit differently. They're still level 4 magnets. So you can put Viper V1 regular magnets and also Viper V1 SR, the newer Spec Racer V1 magnets that came out. So there's actually 3 sets of level 4 motor magnets for a Viper. The stock ones that come in your regular V spec. These are the V1 SR. You could tell they're the SR because they have a little white dot on the side. And then you have the V3 motor magnets. Hey, Mayor. So, I believe if I understand right, I think the V3 magnets are a little more curved and a little closer to the motor. So I think it produces more power. Not so much about the strength of the magnet or the downforce of the magnet, so to speak. Because if you look at, I'll admit I was playing around with this before, then I thought, oh, this might make an interesting video. So if you look at the stock V1 magnet, it comes in at like 42. All right. If you look at the V1 SR magnet, it's a little bit stronger. They come in at like 52, 53. Either one of these magnets, these are both approved by HOPRA or HOPRA, however you want to pronounce it. So just because this is a Viper V3 does not mean you have to use Viper V. You could use any magnet as long as it's an approved magnet. So I can put this V1, either one of these V1 magnets in this V3, and I now have a legal car that I could race because everything else has been approved for the Viper V3. So what I'm going to play around with, I'm going to swap out the V3. What's too bad? Did I miss something? Hey, Carl. It's only a matter of time before the V3 gets approved. this is just short term. So if you want to be able to, over the next, there's supposed to be another update in mid-August, I think, but the if you want to be able to still use the V3 and benefit from the bigger traction magnets, the lower center of gravity, just everything else that's good about this car. I'm not trying to say that putting the V1 magnets, yeah, they're a little bit of a downgrade, but the car is still very fast and handles really well, even with the V1 magnets. Or so I'm expecting it's going to. That's what I'm going to play around with tonight. Now, this is my Fusion spec racer that I raced over the weekend, and I did very well with this car. In fact, if I didn't mess up in the yellow lane, I would have taken third place. I would have made the podium. In fact, I'll show you guys real quick how well I did with this car and how well this car handles and how fast it is. But you can see I came in fourth place. I had 53 laps on white, 51 on red, 53 on white, 55 on blue, but then you can see I stumbled with only 47 on yellow. If I would have hit 50 laps on yellow, that would have put me at 209, and I could have had a third place finish, even flirting with a second place finish. So what happened to me on yellow is I guess I kind of lost my concentration, and I was following someone else's car for probably a good 10 seconds or more, and not even realized I had already crashed. I thought I was still driving, so it really kind of was a bummer. If I didn't do that, I probably would have hit that 50 lap mark. But it was, I was still very happy with how I did. That's like, right up there with the best racers in my club, so I was happy about that. I had a sixth place finish as well in one of the IROC races, and then I was kind of middle of the pack in the other two races. I didn't do as well in the, well, here I could show you guys how I did on all the races because my group already posted. So I came in 11th in this second box stock, which was Super 7 hard body. They had actually shadow bodies painted red, white, blue, and yellow. And I don't know, I didn't do so well with those cars. I only did 108 laps compared to the person who won did 125. So I was definitely off the pace there. Came in sixth here. These were actually gravity cars, Viper cars with brass weights, no traction magnets other than motor magnets, and we ran those at 12 volts. I did 56 laps here, not bad. I was only a few laps off from the leaders in this race, so that was pretty good. And then super stock, I didn't do as well as I would like. I got to really work on my ceramic super stock silly sponge car. I managed 188 laps. Yeah, that's almost 40 laps less than, 30 something laps behind the leader. So Dan had a really great race. His car just ran amazing. But anyway, I felt like progress was made on at that race. I like that track at Fast Eddie's in Pinellas Park. I do fairly well there. Well, you were a little confused, Snuggie, but that's okay. Well, it's not so much that it's sad. It's just there's a process you have to go through before they approve these things, and then you'll get there. So what I want to do is see if, so this car and this car, this is my best running V3. probably the best as far as setup. It's a little low. This one runs really well as well. This one's just a little bit faster, a little bit lower. It turns really good laps. I was playing with both these cars. With this car, I did a 2.379. With this one, I did a 2.381. So these cars are very close. Now, I don't know if putting the Viper V1 motor magnets in here is going to take this car down below what I already have with this. I just built this car like a week or so ago, and I was really happy with how it came out. It has a Rondo. These all have Rondo advanced timed arms, and I did pick up a 0-time Fusion end bell to go with. Excuse me, to go with this advanced. I tried an advanced end bell. With the Fusion, you can get a 20-degree advanced brush end bell or a 0-timed end bell. I had all 20-degree because I was always using 0-timed arms. But combining an advanced time end bell with the advanced arm, it was just a little too much. The car didn't run good. I wish I would have picked up a few more of these. I only bought one to test with, and when I built this car, I put lower. I got this thing just sitting really nice, and I knew it was running really good, and the way it raced Saturday proved that I did build a really good car. So I don't know if the V3 with the level 1 with the Viper V1 magnets is going to best this car, but I still want to try it out. You know. So let's see. Yeah, but for some people it may still be a better running car than what they have. So even the V3 with V1 motor magnets is still a really good running car. Oh, I wanted to show you on the dyno. How this car ran. No, they're for more higher RPMs. The SR, the Spec Racer magnets, the V1 SRs. So this thing is pretty much was hitting 4.7 something earlier. It's just under 4.7 now. So let's see what it does with the. Look, the thing is so fast. It's making these tires come off, and these are dual flange hubs that I have on here. That's kind of crazy. I'm not sure what's up with these hubs. These are 2.40. I think they're scale engineering hubs, but the outer hub looks kind of short on this. I have to keep an eye on these hubs. It gets these tires where I want them to be. These are like below 416 with these hubs. What you need for the V3. The V3, you got to go really low to get the magnets anywhere near. This car just sits higher off the rails. You can bring it much lower. One thing I thought was interesting, that these V3 magnets, oh, not the traction magnets, sorry. Let's pop out this motor box. Where's my The what I found interesting, like I said, I've actually done all this already. I was playing with this before. The V3 motor magnet actually comes in at lower than the V1 SR, which was at like 52. So it's not so much that these are stronger magnets. I think it's more the shape of the magnet and the magnetic field. I mean, I'm not a magnet expert, but there is something about these magnets that do produce a little more power. They look very much identical. I lined them up with these V1 SRs, and they looked almost identical shape-wise. These V1 SRs are also similarly designed to the V3s for more RPMs out of the motor. So let's pop these in. So this motor I'm not touching. I didn't take it out of the end bell. It's the only thing we're changing is the magnets. And we're going to put it right back in this car. And we'll run some dyno tests, and then we'll see how it goes on the track. What kind of times we can get out of it. And I've been testing everything with the end bell neutral timed, since I am running an advanced arm. I think this is a 17-degree advanced arm, so I could probably advance this a little bit if I want to, get a little more speed out of it, but the car was already plenty fast, so I didn't want it to get too hot. Put these magnets back in. Yeah, so it's similar to what I was seeing before. It was like a 451. So it was like 471 earlier. Now it's like 469, just under 470. It was 451, and now it's just under 450. So you lose. I'm losing almost 20 points on the dyno with these magnets. But let's take it to the track and see let's see what kind of lap times we can do. I will note that my Fusion is pulling pretty good downforce, 156 just about. The Viper is, well, wow. The Viper is even higher, so they're right there, very similar on the downforce. This car is a little bit higher. I don't have as low a rear tires on this V3. This is in the 150 range. Yeah, so let's see Yeah, I did get some compliments on this body. This is what I raced Saturday. It looks pretty good with the red tires too. I like this body too because it shows up pretty good. I can see it. What do you mean you could use the traction magnets from the V3? You can't use the track. They're not HOPRA approved, but the traction magnets from the V3 will fit in a V1. Oh, sorry, that's a Fusion. I don't have a V1 here, but the this part of the V3 where the motor is pretty much the same as a V1. The magnets will work in either car. It's really the traction magnet area that's different from the V1 to the V3 and how the car sits, the height of the car. But the motor box, the magnets, at least the shape of the magnet that sits in the chassis is the same. But I believe the V3 magnets are closer, like this space is a little bit less. I think it's a little bit closer to the arm. And I'd have to look at that. Well, let's see. Here's a V3 magnets. Yeah, it is actually a little bit closer, I think, looking at it with my naked eye. Hey Adam, how you doing, buddy? Hope you're feeling okay. No, he better not be asking me if the V3 magnets are approved. I've already gone over that extensively that they're not. Or I wouldn't be doing this. Why would I swap out V3 magnets if they were approved? Come on. Oh, I'm glad to hear that, Adam. So Donnie, we went over that earlier. The chassis was approved and the traction magnets were approved, but the motor magnets are still under review. So the V3 motor magnets level 4 and level 10 have not yet been approved, but the V3 traction magnets level 4 and level 10 have been approved. So the whole point of what I'm doing here is this car is now a legal, HOPRA legal car because I took out the V3 magnets, which are not yet approved, the motor magnets. So I have Viper V1 motor magnets in this car. Those magnets are approved. So you can do that. You can swap magnets. Just like a Ghost Cat, these traction magnets fit in a Ghost Cat, and Viper motor magnets fit in a Ghost Cat. All those magnets are approved, so I could actually take Fusion traction magnet. Guys do that. They take Viper motor magnets and Fusion traction magnets and put them in a Ghost Cat, and it's still legal as long as it meets the Gauss numbers that are set by HOPRA. Then you're good to go. Are you guys kidding me? Did you guys just join this show or what? The first thing I said and showed on the HOPRA site was that the V3 magnets were not approved. I'm gonna have to start having quizzes and see who's paying attention. Don't get me started, Snuggie. What do you have to clarify? What was I not clear on? That's what I don't get. It's like clear as a sunny day to me. I guess to you guys it's clear as mud. I showed you on the HOPRA site that the traction magnets were approved. In fact, here, I'm going to show you guys again. HOPRA has approved the following parts. Oh, actually, this says for 2026. Wah, wah, wah. That's not good. So actually, I cannot use this car next month. That's disappointing. But see, V3 level 4, V3 level 10 have been approved. But the motor magnet, the paragraph down here that says the motor magnets are still under review. That's kind of a bummer. Guess I have to wait till next year to, well, hell, by then it'll probably be, the V3 motor magnets will probably be approved. I'm gonna have to ask the guy that runs our club if he'll let us run these cars or if we have to wait till 2026. Hey, John. Yeah, our group is flexible. Like, as long as it's actually HOPRA approved, we might be able to use these. I'm going to ask after I get off this live stream. I'm going to message my club guy and see what they say. Oh, no problem, Donnie. Yeah, so just to clarify, and I actually did miss the part about being approved for 2026, so that's on me. I guess if you're really being technical, these parts aren't good for the rest of this year until probably the new 2026 rule book comes out. Um, so, like, hopefully by then the motor magnets will be approved as well. So. Till then, thankfully, I have some very good running fusions to hold me over. But since we've gone this far, let's see how this car runs on the track. See what kind of times it can do compared to what it was doing with the V3 motor magnets. Hey, SBS. Hey, Pat. Yeah, let's run some laps. I'm gonna run some laps with this V3, with my Fusion, and then the one we just worked on. All right, let's move over to the track. Just made some room over here. that good enough view? I think that's okay.
No.
Hey, Barry. All right, so first up, I'm going to run one of my Viper V3s with the V3 motor magnets. Though this car could probably be a little bit lower, so I might not be able to push it as hard as these other two cars. All right, we're trying to see if we can get down into the 238 range. 2379 was the best lap I did when this car had when this car had V3 motor magnets. It did a 2379. This car did a 2381, I think it was, my Fusion. So this car is doing 2.42 seconds. Not too shabby. Sorry, not too shabby. If I really push this thing, I might actually be able to get down into the 2.3s, like a 2.39. This also has different tires. I think if I put the red tires on this car, it would probably run even a little bit better. All right, yeah. 242 is the best I could do with this car. Then it comes off. That's still fast. 242, that's a good lap. All right, this is the Fusion. This car did get under. There's a new fast lap, 236. Wow, this car really runs good. I mean, it sticks to the track, it tracks like glue. And it doesn't run that hot. So, win-win for me. Alright, so I don't know that this car with the V1 motor magnets is going to outperform this Fusion, the way this Fusion is running, but let's give it a go. Wow, pretty close, 2364 compared to a 2360, so this car is pretty darn fast, even with the Viper V1 motor magnets. It's consistently doing 236, 237. I tried to push it a little harder there. Oh, wait a minute. This is the wrong car. This is the... Wow, I did a 237 with the other V3. This is the one we want to run. This is the one with... I was going to say, wow, that car is fast. All right, let's see what this car does. The pink car. This is the one that has the V1 motor magnets. 237, so we're getting there. Ah, that would have been a good lap. 237. I don't know that it's going to do it 2360 though, like the Fusion did. Oh, 234, new record with V1 motor magnets. Wow. All right. Well, it's still plenty fast even without the V3 motor magnets. So pretty much any one of those cars would be very competitive if I drive it properly. So that was kind of interesting. Hey, Rich. Two Riches. Sorry, just catching up on the comments. These are red tires, Rich. They're not pink. No, don't worry, Rich. I'm not going to quiz these guys because they've already proven to me that they're not paying attention, so they would all fail. That's right, Mike. Is the track similar in length to Viper? You mean the track that Viper has been using in their most current videos? I'm not sure how big Viper's track is that Dan's been using, that 3-lane track. I don't think it's a 16. I think it's either a 3x12 or a 3x14. Mine is a 4x14, so it is similar. Hey, James. So, I don't know. I mean, it's good to know that if the Viper V3 motor magnets never get approved, that these V1 SRs, the car still runs pretty darn good. I mean, 2.37 or 6, whatever it did, it was a pretty fast lap. This car's also pretty amazing too. So I guess it would come down to the track I'm racing on and which one of these cars I felt runs the best or handles the best. It's going to be interesting to see if and when I switch from my Fusion to a Viper for Spec Racer. And I'm hoping they come out with ceramic magnets so I could do a super stock in the V3 as well. Yeah, they are a little bit. Well, no, the V1s were stronger. The V1s came in at. It's interesting. The V1 SRs came in at 53, whereas the V3s came in at like 46. So the V1 magnets, at least the one pair of V1s that I have, were actually stronger than the V3s. The regular V1s were like 41, 42. So the V3s were definitely a little bit stronger than the standard V1s. But the V1 SR came in higher than the V3 SR, which I was a little bit surprised about. So these tires, these are Onslaught reds and these are Onslaught grays. They don't come in different sizes. They only come in one size, and you have to change the size of the hub. So these tires size out to, I believe it's a 418 on a 250 hub. Or no, 428? No, 418. Yeah, 418. So I have these on a 240. So these are technically probably like 408s now. I don't have a gauge. My gauge only goes to 416, and these do go right through. I basically have to change out the hub sizes to get different tire sizes. So I have hub sizes in like 446, 442, 440. So these are what I have on the car now. These are the lowest. And let's see. So this, yeah, this goes right through 416. I guess I can get my calipers out and but yeah, if you're running a Viper V3 on a routed Viper type track, you definitely want the car no higher than 416 in the rear, or it's going to be too high. You're not going to get the best handling out of it. Yeah, these are like, they're going through 411. These are probably close to 408. Yeah, it's 409, and it's barely. Yeah, so these are like 408s on the rear of that V3. That's pretty low. These are firm tires, and the grays are even harder. They're pretty hard. Even the red ones, these are pretty stiff. When you get that much downforce and that low, you really want a pretty stiff tire. So. And I mean, if you look at my Fusion, this is a 4014 setup block. That thing's pretty much, like, could probably go a little lower on the front of this, looking at this tiny bit up in the front. And it's pretty level on that side, but you can see it's pretty much touching the rail on 014. So I do have this thing slammed down pretty good. And this V3 is also, yeah, that's as low as I could go in the rear. It's still not quite, this side sits a tiny bit lower. This is still pretty much slammed to the rails as well. Not that hard. Like it's not leaving. You can see it's leaving a mark, but not like a major gouge in the. It's just kind of touching the magnets, which is what I like. If you want to have the best handling, you don't want to obviously go too low, or then you'll start to slow the car down and it'll overheat. So. All right, Snuggie, have a good night. Yeah, exactly, Donnie. So, yeah, 418 on a 250, so 408 on a 240. Yeah. So that's what car is running, pretty much 408s, which is probably, definitely on the lower end that you would want to go. This is coming in at, I think this is right around 416. I don't remember what size these hubs are. Yeah, it's like right at that. So a little snug on 416. But kind of loose on like a 418 actually. And you can kind of see, you could definitely see a little more space with these tires. A little bit higher off the rail. Not a whole lot, but downforce wise, I think it was a good 10 points. Yeah, 146. Some guys don't like their cars that low. Some guys like them really low. Yeah, this has got a lot of downforce, this car. This might be a tad too. I think I have a 242. These are 240. I might build a 242 and see how this car runs with 242s. Just a touch higher. It would probably be even faster and not get as hot. Not that this was really getting that hot, so I don't know. So we'll have to play around with that. I'll show you, unrelated, I'll show you what came in the mail today. A new acquisition. I bought this custom painted 240Z Lifelike. It's actually, I think, an AMRAC body, really super light. I was going to use it for box stock class, but then I was like, nah, it feels too delicate and it looks too nice. But fortunately, I found a different one to use for box stock. The same body, just factory. And this body's a little bit better, feels a little stronger. This car runs good. This is my box stock class car. But this came out nice for a custom painted body, I thought. I bought it off eBay. But then I ended up getting this body, so. This wasn't cheap. I think I paid like $30 for this body, but Let's see how it looks on a car. Try and put it on without breaking it. Doesn't fit as well as the other body. Tires aren't lined up as good. I guess I'll have to play around with it. This body lines up pretty good. Yeah, this is a good fit, this body. I sound like a NASCAR mechanic. I went through all the trouble of working on my box stock, and then they ended up throwing me a curve. When we raced Saturday, we didn't use our own box stock. They decided to use, somebody had a IROC set of box stock, basically Super 7s with hard plastic bodies. So we ended up doing 2 IROC races Saturday. Normally we do 1 IROC race, then we use our own cars for box stock, and then we do spec racer and then super stock. So I didn't even get to run this car. I was disappointed. So yeah, that's, I don't know. I got to find out now about the 2026 note in the HOPRA site, because if we can't use these cars until 2026, then I guess there's no sense in me wasting any time on them right now. I'll go back to just playing around with my Fusions. Oh, he has a low profile lifelike clip. I'll have to look into that. I did have a good day Saturday. I was pretty happy. You know, I felt like I took a step in the right direction, which the last 3 races or so, I just felt like I was going backwards, like I was doing worse. I was getting better every race, and then I don't know what the heck happened to me, but I had like 3 or 4 races where I just was not, like the guys that I was beating, I was coming in middle of the pack. I was starting to not do as well. I was coming in below the middle of the pack the last 3 or 4 races. This past weekend, I was back up beating the guys or on par with the middle of the pack guys, so I felt good about that. Yeah, I'll have to check that out. Yeah, I don't know if I have to wait or not, or if our club is gonna, at least since they're approved, they might let us use them. I don't know. We do follow the rules, but we also kind of can make our own, if they want to allow it, if that's what everybody kind of votes on. I'm going to, like I said, after I get off here, I'm going to message our group and say, hey, do we have to wait till 2026 before we can use these parts? So, the next race is in Vero, so that's close. That's like my closest track that my club races with. That's at the Vero Beach Hobby Shop. We race every month, so the next race is in August. I don't know the exact date. It's usually like the 2nd or 3rd weekend of the month. I'll have to look back on our floor. And if you guys are interested, you could follow the FHORA, Florida HO Racers Association Facebook page, and you could see all those. That's what I have. It's the page I had up here. This is the Florida page, so you can watch Eddie, our group leader. He posted some videos. So if you win, I'm hoping to get my car on the podium there one of these days. These were the box stock Super 7 hard bodies that we raced. These were the gravity cars. These are the guys that were the winners in the race. But you can watch, he posts a bunch of videos. You get to see my ugly mug out there. I'm in some of these videos. Like that's me right there. I'm getting ready to come in. I'm next in line. But you can watch some of. Oh, I think my internet just went down. But anyway, it just came back up. I think this was Spec Racer class. This was the class I did good in. But look at how freaking fast those cars are. So yeah, check out the FHORA Facebook page. You guys can keep up with what I'm getting into with those guys. But they have our schedule posted out there and all that good stuff. I have not won yet any race. I came in second in one of the races in an IROC race, but no, there's some racers in my club that have been racing like HOPRA Nationals for 20 years. These guys are way more advanced than me. That's why I was very proud of myself in that race, because it's not uncommon for me to finish 20 laps down from the top guys. So to only be a few laps down on those and even beat some of the top guys in that race, I was pretty happy with those. That's what I'm shooting for in every race, is to be up there with the big boys. But we'll see. How fast? I'm not sure how to gauge how very fast. Like a spec, these types of cars are. Yeah, it's ridiculous speed if you want to go to scale, but these cars are pretty much like a blur. And these aren't even really fast cars. When you get up into the level 10, like 2.3 ohm, 2.4 ohm, or even lower ohm than that, like unlimited class cars, oh my God, it's silly. You can't even see the cars. It's just like a blur. I don't really know how I have couple of fast modified cars. I can't even really keep my eye on those. We race modified. That's a new class we added. Level 10 motor and traction magnets, and you can go down to like a 2.3 ohm balanced hot stock arm. And those cars are just so fast. I have a hard time following my car. Exactly, right? These cars are already doing 2.3, 2.4 second laps, which is, what's fast enough? It starts to get a little crazy. Yeah. This is the next class up. These are level 10. So this is my modified class V3. this is a modified class V1 with max traction. Man, this is a HOPRA legal car, and this is a BSRT level 10. These cars are, even though they're level 10 and much lower ohm, they're probably doing like 2.2, 2.1, 2.2 second laps. So they're very fast. Yeah, SBS. I mean, you can do as little or unlimited as far as what you want to learn or how far you want to go in the hobby. I mean, I never thought I'd be at this level that I'm at and be club racing. And just a few years ago I had an AFX track set up and I was happy with running my Mega G Plus cars. And then Viper came along and I started getting the speed bug and performance and building. I really got into taking the cars apart. And, the ohm is the resistance of the motor. So the winding, the wire winding, when you measure it, you can measure across all three stacks of the armature and get a resistance. You can measure with your ohm meter, and the lower the ohm, the more current the car can draw, less resistance, and the faster the car will go. But you have to be careful because the lower the ohm, the hotter the car could get as well. So the higher the resistance the motor, the less current it's going to draw, and it will technically be a little bit slower. Not that my 6 ohm. So this is a 6 ohm motor car, or 5.8. This is a 2.4 ohm. They look the same, but if you measure the winding, it's a much lower resistance. And when you get down into the lower ohm motors, you usually go up in strength and the magnets. So these are level 10. So these cars come in, I think, in the 200 range. Yeah, getting close to 200 instead of like the 150 range. Where's this one measure? Yeah, this is my V3, so that's 206, my level 10 V3. Oh no, that's my regular Viper. It actually has more downforce than the V3. This car could probably go lower. What is my BSRT coming in at? 222. Yeah, so a lot more downforce. Yeah, I believe that. The original G Plus. Well, those were hard for me to keep on the track because they didn't have any traction magnets and they had a pretty strong motor in them. So the Super G Plus, I could see being that was the start of it all, really. That chassis. 1,200 miles an hour. I think my timing system. I think this timing system actually will do mile per hour. Hold on, let me see if I can figure that out. I think I can change. No, that's median. Yeah, miles per hour. So look, those cars were doing 900 and crap! I just cleared it. I didn't mean to do that. Well, you saw that. It was almost 1,000 miles per hour. Well, heck, you want me to run a couple of laps? So we'll see what kind of miles per hour I can do. I'll run one of these modified cars a few laps. Oh, that car's a little bit faster than those other cars. Whoa! All right. I haven't raced these modified cars in a while. I'm apparently not able to keep it on the track. Interesting, it's not even doing better times. Oh, 2.2, so it is doing faster times than the, I was looking at the median time. So 1,071 miles an hour. Took that turn too soon. I really have to use brakes when I run these cars. I'm gonna have to go behind my track and find my car. Those cars make me laugh when I do run. I don't run them very often, but it's been pretty. They're so fast. Power in those cars. It's crazy. One hole in the garage wall. Let me see if I can go find that car. I'll be right back. All right, it survived. Thankfully, these cars are pretty indestructible. They can really take a beating. These Lexan bodies are very flexible. I mean, I just crashed this thing into a wall and really nothing happened to it. I might have just slightly chipped that tire. Yeah. Anyway, like I said, I'm going to talk to my group. I'll let you know next time I chat with you guys what they decide and if I'm able to. I think I'm going to leave the V1 magnets in this V3, the V1 motor magnets. Play around with this a little bit more and see if they decide to let us run these. If they do, who knows? Maybe I'll run this in the August club race. If they say no, gotta wait till 2026, well, then I still have my Fusion that I raced Saturday, which, to be honest with you, I may end up just running this car anyway. But either way, I'd be in good shape. Either one of those cars. So. But anyway, what time is it? Almost 20 to 9. That's not even racing speed. What's racing speed? I don't know, Donnie. Maybe there's a way I can change the setting. When I put it to miles per hour, maybe I have to look in the settings. Maybe there's a way to. I don't know. That definitely seems way faster than 12 miles an hour to me, but. I could be wrong. All right, let's start cleaning things up here, put cars back where they belong. Which car is this? Yeah, this goes in here. Next thing I'm going to work on are my super stock silly sponge ceramic super stock fusions. I really want to get a good running car. I have one that runs decent, but just not as good as my spec racer, and I didn't do anywhere near as good. I only did I did 206 laps with my spec racer. I did only 188 laps with my super stock. So definitely room for improvement in my super stock results. So I'm going to try and focus on that before the next race. I know I have a good running super stock spec racer car. So. All right, so now, just to summarize, which magnets have been approved and which ones are still pending? Come on, Mike and Snuggy, you should know the answer to this. Let's hear it again. Wrong answer. So per the latest news, the Viper V3 chassis and the Viper V3 traction magnets both. Oh man, I lost connection again. I don't know if you guys could hear me or not. Maybe it's a sign I better sign off. Yeah, the Viper V3 chassis and traction magnets have been approved. The motor magnets are still pending further review. So I know, Snuggy, I got cut off during my final thoughts and statement, which is just typical, right? I get no respect, even from my own home internet. So, all right, guys, I think I'm going to pack it in for tonight. Uh-oh. Is this connected again or disconnect? It said chat. Oh, there we go. let's come back here. Well, I'll be on a few more times before 2026. That's for sure. Um, yeah, I'm probably going to go out, not this weekend, but the following weekend. I'm going to go out to Vero, to both the Vero track at the hobby shop because I want to practice, but I'm also going to spend some time out at Ralph's track. So even though his track is not really where we want it to be, it is still usable. He's still waiting. Musgrave has had a major delay in getting material to build the routed tracks. He said he's like over 10 tracks behind, and it's going to be at least 3 weeks before he gets the material in. He told my buddy Ralph, because my buddy Ralph ordered a brand new Type 1 PVC track. He still has the Sintra track set up, and he's been working on it, and it is usable. It's just not what he wants in the end, so he is going to wait it out and hopefully get the PVC track that he wants from Musgrave. So I'll be doing some live stuff from out there in Vero. Not this weekend. This weekend I'll probably race here on my track. So be on the lookout for that. Also, my buddy Steve, he's got his track going. He's still waiting for his timing system from Musgrave, but his track is pretty much done. He's got the 4x16 SoCal set up, so we'll be doing some racing from his track, hopefully coming up very soon. So you'll start to see some different tracks in the mix during our weekend racing between my track, Steve's track, and Ralph's track. So should be fun. All right, guys, thanks. I appreciate it, as always. I appreciate everybody who tunes in and all your comments, and we have fun. So, all right, guys, enjoy the rest of your week. If I'm not on, I should be on this weekend for sure, but I don't think I'll be on anymore this week. But look for me Saturday. And I'll be on like Adam's show and Scott's show if they're on, and Rich. So we'll see. I'll talk with you guys soon. All right, guys. Have a good night.